Hey, Pete.
Hi.
I miss you. You look so beautiful today.
Oh, thank
this
you.
Dusty blue.
Thank you so
it's a
much.
gorge colour on you.
I love how we've both got our hair just,
We turned up with hair down today. This never happens.
Yes, never.
Somehow we end up aligned, slicked back or in a claw clip.
Always.
You did put yours up though.
I did.
You look gorgeous either way.
I think I have, what's that thing where you have sensitivities to like?
Yeah, sensory.
I have a sensory thing with hair being on my neck sometimes. I really do. So I don't like it and I put it up. That's why I have my hair up a lot.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that little bit of info.
Thanks.
You know why I'm so excited for today?
Why?
Because we have someone here that is so awesome. She is, I would consider, a friend of mine now, also a woman on my team, something that I got into at some point last year because I was going through some shit. There was just, life was lifing. And I was like, I need help. I need answers. I can't cope. I can't breathe. Someone tell me what the fuck is going on. And I got directed to this incredible woman who is sitting right here as I'm talking about her. And I got introduced fully into the world of astrology. Now, this is just not as woo-woo as so many people think it is. When I tell you the answers that I got, the clarity and understanding on how things got to that point, Elena literally picked out actual dates of things. And I was like, stop it right now.
Wow.
And what it has given me as far as clarity moving forward. So I have obviously introduced you to Elena, and I can't wait for you guys to have that. But Elena did our charts as well. So we're going to get into some fun stuff about our energy and our friendship. Elena, welcome to Get Stuck Into It.
Thank you both so much. And I know I said it earlier when I saw you both, but I'm just so grateful to be in the presence of two goddesses.
Oh, you're
the
so
best.
sweet.
And I'm super excited. And I know this not just because of what I see. I've seen your charts, so I know your hearts.
Yeah.
And
Yay.
I know that you're such good peeps. And I'm grateful to be here. So thank you. Thank you for
thank you
having
for
me.
hanging
I'm
out with
super
us.
excited to be here.
It's such a cool thing to have you here. When we were emailing back and forth about how to approach today, and you were talking about the synergies that are in our charts as friends, I cannot wait to get into that stuff. And of course, I'm so happy to share some of the stuff that we've talked about if it comes up in today. But for anyone that doesn't know, like me 6 months ago, all I knew is that I was a Gemini cusp Cancer. And people would be like, so what's your rising? And I was like, oh, what's that? I have no idea what that means. What's your moon? And what do they even mean? So for anyone that doesn't understand, before we get into the really fun, cool stuff, tell us what is a sun, moon, and a rising? What does it mean to us? And what really, in a nutshell, I guess, is astrology?
So basically, astrology is the study of the correlation between the movement in the sky of all celestial bodies. So meaning the stars, the luminaries being the moon, the sun, and the planets. And so what astrology does is astrologers, what we do is we study the movement of any particular object in the sky. So let's say Jupiter, the moon, what have you, in relationship to what's going on here on Earth and how it's affecting us individually as people, but also as a collective. Also like historical knowledge, geographically, all of that. And so when someone is born at any particular time of day, something's happening in the sky. And so in that moment, literally where you're coming out of the canal or being taken out, depending on how you came to this world, we have something happening in the sky. And so the moment that you take your first breath or you come out into this existence, we take a snapshot of that moment in the sky as it relates to not just the hour, the time that you were born, but also the location. So both things need to be intact, location and time. And we then get an entire blueprint. And this is called the natal chart. And it's made up of 12 spaces, 12 sections. And each section represents a theme in our lives. And then each planet represents a different theme. Each sign represents a different theme. So my job as an astrologer is to look at your blueprint and decode it. And also now you have this fixed natal chart, and now moving forward for the rest of your life, we can look at this fixed natal chart in relationship to what's going on at any given moment with the sky and see how that's affecting you in your personal life. And that can give us a lot of information as to predictive wise, like what's up ahead for us. And not in a psychic kind of way. Like I can't say exactly, this is exactly how something's going to go down, but I can get eerily accurate based on the tools of astrology. And so, and it's not something to be feared. And it's not about, oh, Jupiter made me do this, right?
Yeah.
It's like, no, it's a correlation. And so it can give us a lot of understanding about ourselves as well. Like, why do I do this thing? Why do I have this tick? Why am I like this? Why am I different? And it gives us comfort in knowing, no, there's nothing wrong with you. It's part of your blueprint. And this is why. And this is the purpose, because there's always purpose to why we're experiencing what we're experiencing per astrology, right? So that's a little snippet.
There's so much. I love it.
But isn't it amazing? And it's easy to listen and be like, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Planets moving is going to affect, I'm in control of. But we are not in control of the energy that is around us. It is something that we can control ourselves, I think, but what the rest of the world is doing, or the planets or the solar system.
Right. I didn't know that like the moon and the sun and the stars affected, that energy directly affects us and like where they are. I had no idea. I thought energy was like here in Earth, and like this is the energy that we have in this room with these people, you know? So I had no idea about all this stuff.
Yes. And what's fascinating about that is when we are really aware that each one of us in this room, we have our own chart doing its thing. There are things that we're meant to experience as this time, place, space, reality right now. And it might be that my job today is to irritate you. That might be a thing. Or it might be that my job today is to bring love. Right. And so there's a purpose to everything, even the person that pisses you off on the road, that cuts you off. Right. There's a purpose to all of it. Astrologically, you get to see, oh, I was meant to learn this today. Patience or love, or I was meant to learn that I can be a badass and stand up for myself and fight that person. You know, like you never know. It's going to be something different. And also helps you have compassion towards the people in your life. Like, oh, now I understand why this person does X, Y, Z, because I have an understanding of their chart.
Right.
What they're going through.
Yeah,
I think is profound.
That was incredibly helpful when looking at Brian's and my chart with you, and things around communication and all sorts of stuff, and even like love languages and things. It was so much of it that I kind of knew, but then I got this beautiful information surrounding it that was like, oh, here's a bit more depth on that, and why and how these things can work. Speaking of like how things can affect you in the moment and the day to day, right? As I walked in, I was like talking to Pete about having a stage 5 meltdown last night. And here I am thinking it's just because I'm in my luteal phase. My period's about to start in 3 days.
Which could be it.
Which could also be a lot to do with it.
Which is ruled by the moon.
But I sent myself into a full panic attack last night, you guys. Admittedly dealing with the fires and everything around my house.
Yeah.
But then not long after that, you came up and you were like, you are actually, your moon is on your Gemini, so you are super sensitive today. And I was like, yes, I am.
Yes. So before meeting you all here, I looked at all the charts, right? I looked at Shauna's chart. I looked at Peta's chart. I looked at my chart, but I also looked at the chart of the pod for today. So this pod has an energy. The time that we started recording, the time, by the way, the rising of this pod for today is Leo rising.
Okay.
So it's very exuberant. It's lovely. It's heart. It's open. It's openness. And there's so much more to it.
But how does the pod have a chart? Because in my brain is like, how does that happen?
Thank you for asking that. Because in the same way that people have a birth chart, events also have a birth chart.
Okay.
Like purchases have a birth chart. The purchase of a new home, the everything has a wedding has a birth chart. The moment you get married, that has a birth chart. And it's based on the way I pulled up a chart. So the way So the way I pulled up the chart for this pod, all of your podcasts, by the way, have a chart. It can tell you the type of audience it's going to pull in. I already know that the audience for this podcast is going to be very sensitive because the moon is in Cancer. and in the 12th house. So people who are drawn to the things that are hidden, people who are dealing with the stigma of mental instability right now, but not in a dark kind of way, just more in a want to be cared for kind of way, right? And so at the time that we started the podcast, which let's say it was 11 a.m., I pull a chart for what's happening in the sky at that moment in the same way that we pull a chart for when we are born.
Interesting.
So it has its energy, it has its life, and it can also help you navigate. And if I am aware, we have some sensitive people that are going to watch this pod, and they're dealing with the stigma of mental awareness, or they're dealing with something deep on a deeper psychological level. Those are the people that we're going to be pulling in, and moms because of the moon. But I think what you were getting to is because I looked at your chart, I knew the transit moon, so the current moon in the sky, is right on top of Shauna's natal moon. And that is the most sensitive, emotional place to be. Like, it brings up all the topics about home. We're preoccupied with our kiddos, with our mom, with our house, our literal house.
Literally all of those things. Literally all of those things.
And I even said, you probably would rather be home right now. Not that you don't want to be here. It's just that when we want to nest, when moon is on moon, we want to be with the closest people in our life. We want to be at home with our kids. We want to be cooking soup. Like that's what we want to do when that's happening. And it's very emotional and very sensitive and very intuitive. And I also said, you need to really trust yourself for the next 2 days, because the moon moves signs every 2.5 days. So it's a quick energy, but it's deep.
Interesting.
So you're in it.
Wow. Well, I'm going to make the most of that.
Yes. You should just snuggle up with a nice hot chocolate and just, be chill and calm.
Soup.
And
I love making soup. Yeah. The non-ness penicillin one. Okay, so how do you explain what before we get into the rest of it, that's super fun, because I never understood this. And I was trying to explain this to Pete the other day about what your sun, your moon, and your rising, like, one is how you feel inside, one is how people see you. Is that and one is, and what's the other?
Yes.
Like, how do we explain that?
So the moon in our chart will give us information of what our deepest need is. That's like the number one. What do we deeply need to feel safe, to feel nourished, to feel nurtured? I think the moon is actually one of the most important things to look at in a person's chart, especially our kiddos.
Yeah.
Especially children. Because if we can understand, because you might give birth to a child that's so different from you, and his or her needs are so different from you. But if you understand what their moon represents, then you can give them what they actually need, not what you think they need based on how you grew up, what you need as a mother, right? Or as a parent. And so the moon is like, what makes us feel safe? What makes us feel nurtured? And also, it also represents our audience. Like, when an audience doesn't have to be like you're a celebrity or anything. It can be whoever you're representing, whoever you're speaking in front of, whether it's corporate, creative. But it also represents in relationship and relating with others, and in synastry, which synastry is when we put two people's charts together and we can see their interactions within their planets. I think that's like the most important thing to look at in synastry, because it'll show you it's love languages, right? So like, you might have a need to work. You're a workaholic, and that might be your need per your chart. Like, that's what makes you feel safe to constantly work. But your person might have a need to constantly be cuddling and snuggling in quality time, right? So there's a clash.
Hold me.
Right? Yeah.
That's me.
Touch me, hold me.
Exactly. Exactly. And
gosh.
your moon, and if you don't mind, can I share what your moon is?
Yeah, you can share.
Can we do both? Can we see what our things are?
Yeah, tell us about us.
Well, okay, so Sharna, this doesn't surprise me, because you have your moon in Cancer. And that is the hold me, but not just hold me, like, just like really be present with me, right? Really see me is this placement here. And it's very intuitive. So if someone really feels what they say they feel in the moment, and you can feel whatever it is that they're going through, right? Like, it's very intuitive. And your moon, Peta, and I love this because I just got a flashback of our conversation from our reading. Your moon is in Libra, which is all about harmony, right? It wants to harmonize. It wants balance. It wants fairness in all things.
Oh, yeah.
In all interactions. And sometimes that moon gets accused of being tit for tat because it wants everything to be very balanced. But not in a like very like, let's be fair. Let's be fair here, right?
Okay.
And so it can be, but does that resonate or not? Does it?
The harmony part, absolutely.
Yes.
Harmony,
yes.
I want peace all the time.
Yes.
I would love peace all the time. It makes me happy. It makes me feel like I can start my day. Like if the day starts with too much chaos in the house, or like, I don't know, who's picking up the kid, you or me, or like that, it throws me. And I need a second to collect myself.
Right.
And to get on with my day.
Yes.
Tit for tat, yeah.
You know, a better way to say,
way, but like, sorry.
A better way to say the tit for tat is reciprocation. Like things need to be reciprocated for you. And sometimes from outsiders looking in, they see that as tit for tat.
Ah, okay.
So that's a better way of saying that, because it's more like, well, that person, you know, I'm giving all of me, but that person maybe is not doing X, Y, Z.
I can see that.
Yeah. No, I have things in my life going on where I have been like, I don't understand. I'm doing all of this, everything, this, and this.
Why isn't it being reciprocated?
Why isn't it back on the other side?
That's what I'm talking about. It's very, I mean, that's a human nature thing to want.
Yeah.
But especially for Libra moon.
Okay.
Because Libra moon is, you're measuring. No. You may not be aware that but you're paying attention to, well, the last time I brought 3 coffees, Sharna just brought 1.
Oh, no.
I don't think I've ever thought that.
I feel like that's, but
that's an exaggeration.
Yes,
really.
I'm
really just being funny.
Not with me, I don't think you would. But like maybe some people, I'd be like, "Fuck you, bitch! I bought you 3 coffees the other day." But that's like not my inner circle, because I think I take notice sometimes, maybe later now in my life.
Yes.
But when it comes to you saying it, you only recently said to me you're at that point in your life where like people are either going to make an effort to be a part of your world or they're not.
I did,
Yes.
Because you have made such an effort over so many years to create space for people.
Yes.
And go over, be there, fly to different countries, do the things. And you're at that point where you're like, fuck it. If you don't do it for me, I'm not doing it for you.
Yeah, I think I'm just tired of thinking about other people, in those situations. I'm like, fuck it. Yeah. You're not inviting me over at any point. I don't fucking care. So I'm probably not going to invite you over next time. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Because Libra moon and Cancer moons give a lot.
Yeah.
And so what ends up happening for you are currently, and we talked about this, you have moved into a progressed moon. Okay, so there's our fixed moon in our chart, which will never change. That's fixed forever. However, on top of that, we have something called the progressed moon. And the progressed moon moves every 2.5 years into a different sign. And what this does, it gives us an opportunity to try on different needs, or our needs change, for lack of better, better way of saying it.
Like, I just went through a big change.
Yes. Yeah. And we should talk about it, because both of yours are actually pretty big, and I'll explain why. So the progressed moon is a symbolic evolution of our moon. So you were born a Libra moon. Now, every 2.5 years, from the moment we're born, every 2.5 years, that progressed moon moves into a different sign, right? Currently, I believe you are in an Aries progressed moon.
Oh.
Which is the opposite of Libra. It's the opposite of give for others, because Libra is partnerships. Libra is all things partnerships. You're also, Sharna, in a progressed moon that's more independent. So both of you have recently moved into progressed moons, meaning the needs that you used to have changed. They're becoming more independent. Yeah. Aries, the progressed moon that you've moved into, Peta, is I'm going to take care of me first. I'm going to put that mask on myself, that oxygen mask. I'm going to put it on myself first, and then take care of others. Where in the past, maybe you put the mask on others first, then yourself. And Aries is very like, me first. I'll take care of me. not in a selfish way, in a soulful way, right? Doesn't mean you're going to disregard and start neglecting your family. You're not going to do that.
Right.
But you're now going to come from the place of me first, then you. Shauna's in a very similar place, except hers is a little more rebellious, but in a different, both are rebellious. Both are rebellious.
I'm like, fuck it.
Yeah, it's like, fuck it all.
Yeah.
Well, both of you, so it's nice. It's sort of
we're
complementary.
We're aligned, yeah. The
Yeah.
way this, just so everyone can understand the way this has genuinely showed up in my life, and our listeners will know because I've been saying it since we started this podcast. I've suddenly woken up and I feel like a meerkat that stuck its head out and is like, what is going on with the rest of the world? And I want more of that. I need more for me. I want dance back in my life. I need to be creating it. I need me. And now we have Elena sitting here who's like, yeah, literally around that time, my progressed moon shifted from, I was in, I can't remember the house, but I was in a place of family and home and responsibility. And
I'll tell you, I wrote it down for you.
You tell me, girl, because those 2.5 years. And what happened? I went so deep into it that I lost myself in it.
Yeah, you told me that too. I remember you're like, I'm here to stay and I'm doing this for this part of my life.
This is my whole identity now. Yeah. And then suddenly, recently, I was like, fuck that.
Yeah.
I am
everything.
Fuck it all.
And that's what happens to all of us, depending on what sign the progress moves into every 2.5 years. And if people understood that shift, they would understand why their relationships change.
Yeah.
Why like a person's in your life for like a season of that. And you wonder why it's pulled away, or you just don't really chat anymore, or like nothing bad happened, but like you don't need them like you did before.
Exactly, because the needs have shifted. They have changed.
Yeah.
And so maybe now they're attracted to different energy, or vice versa. You're attracted to different energy. Yeah. But like in Shauna's example, she went from being in a progressed Capricorn moon. And Capricorn moon is responsibility. It's the family. It's legacy. You're in it for the long haul. You're gonna die with it.
Yeah,
bad, good,
Max.
bad.
Max is Capricorn.
So Max.
Okay, so
Max.
that's it. It's like it's rootedness. It's long-term vision. It's legacy, right?
Legacy, yeah.
And it's beautiful because it's consistent. So when your progressed moon moves into Capricorn, you're like, I'm going to stay in this shit no matter how bad it hurts.
Yeah.
I'm going to work hard and I'm going to stick my feet. I'm going to do it. I'm going to grow roots here.
So I'm not a masochist. It's that
you were in that.
My progressed moon was in Capricorn.
Yes, exactly.
Got it. Yeah.
But I believe we met, our last reading was at the end of the year.
Yep.
And we talked about you moving. So you hadn't quite moved into Aquarius yet, which
not
is
at that
where you
point,
are now.
Yeah.
So you hadn't, but we talked about it. I said, you're about to get into a point where you're going to be liberated. You're going to be like, yeah, fuck this. I'm going to be. And I remember we talked about currently you're in this place of no responsibility, working hard. And then according to my notes, you shifted to Aquarius progressed moon January 10th.
Yeah.
Give or take a day or two.
Give or take a
day.
But
literally, when this shifts, Peta, it's like it's like you wake up and you're like, who am I today?
That's
like
crazy. I love it.
And it's wild that it was genuinely like that. And granted, I have Elena in my life. So I was knowing that these things are coming up. I'm like, oh, January 10th is coming up soon. I wonder. But I can't force the feeling. It genuinely happened somewhere around there where I just started writing more and planning more and ideas started coming more. And suddenly the me saying out loud, I want more dance back in my life. I'm doing all these things for Dancing with the Stars. Or this is happening and that's happening. So like the energy around me just changed and therefore those needs started to be met. I was calling out for these things and the universe was like, as you wish. And here you go.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
And the thing is that Aquarius naturally also, it's aligned with the 11th house, which 11th house is about wishes coming true, dreams, wishes. It's also social media. It's the collective. It's bigger crowds, that type of thing. But also Aquarius is very zany and very intellectual and very much about liberation, like let live. What's that saying? Love and let live, type of thing. But it's also very inspiring, right? Where Capricorn is more about working hard, more about the burden, more about the heaviness of things. Aquarius is not. Aquarius is aloof and light. And so you're in there for another, let's see, you're going to move So you have like another 2. What month are we in?
Yeah,
You
what
have like
month are we
another
in? We're in May.
exactly.
We're in
Oh
May.
yes, May. It's just this year is flying. But you have another 2 years in that energy, and then you'll shift to Pisces. So we will talk about that
We'll
when you
come to
get there,
Pisces.
because that's going to be a whole other. Right now, you're in work smarter, not harder mode, and you moved away from work harder mode.
Yeah.
And now it's work smarter. And that's why the universe will meet you there. You'll get these opportunities. So just
funny
come to you.
that you even say social media stuff. For the last like 2.5 years before that point where things changed, I didn't even know what to share on social media. And it had been such a big part of my life. And my social media team is like, hey, we need you to share a bit more of this or find a little bit of that, like engagement and branding deals and whatever. And I literally would flatline when I try and think about what to share or what to create for it. Because it just wasn't, I was just so consumed with other things.
Right.
So interesting. But now I don't feel that way.
And
now
it's so
I've got all
easy,
different ideas.
right? There's like an ease to it, right?
Yeah, it's so much easier to just pick my phone up and share something, whereas just somehow there was this imaginary block on it before and I couldn't do it. So interesting.
Yeah. Wow.
Also, I want to add one thing, and this is probably going to sound broken record if I already brought it up. But with Aquarius, because you're going to get information out of the blue, it's important that you quickly record the ideas or write them down, because just as quickly as they came, they're going to go.
Oh, that's a good note.
So
Thank you.
it's something to just be aware of, right? And I do want to just add, because right now we're just focusing on the progressment. Well, I'm focusing on that. But astrology has so many layers. It's so nuanced. So right now we're focusing on this one thing because it is huge.
Yeah.
I think progressed moons are responsible for a lot of unnecessary separations and divorces.
Yeah.
I truly believe that, and I truly stand by that, because I feel like, for example, if you are in this energy of family, work hard, and then you shift and you have a partner who's very sensitive to that because they're in a different progressed moon phase of maybe more touchy-feely, right? Because Aquarius moon is not as touchy-feeling as your natal moon. Your natal moon is very touchy-feely. You may have noticed you're more aloof now.
Yeah.
And that's part of the process. And so if couples, friends, siblings, if people just understood this is actually temporary, this is not, you can work with that to get apart, but together, right? Because sometimes we need to move apart.
People change.
Yeah, and it's necessary. Exactly.
But I see where you're coming from with that, because you need to grow with each other and grow with each other's different needs and stuff like that.
Exactly.
For sure.
Within ranges.
Of course, within reason.
Within reason.
Yes.
But yeah.
It has to align. Just because your partner's going through their change doesn't mean that necessarily aligns with what you're going through, right?
Right.
But astrology does prove nothing is permanent, and it cycles.
Meaning,
nothing is permanent.
That marriage isn't permanent. You mean that
meaning
period of time. The period, yeah,
exactly. And in some cases that does mean some relationships are not permanent, right? And in some cases it does mean that, but it's really an internal process, really is what it is. It's like we are here to constantly change. And if the externals, meaning our spouses, our environment, our whomever we're collaborating with or co-creating with, if they're not going to meet us where we are, then it makes sense that it would break apart. But then we can work with that if we understand what's happening too, if that makes any sense. But
gosh, if only everybody had an astrologist to call,
If only everyone had an Elena.
Yes.
I know.
Well,
sorry, Elena
so
only.
much.
But
Thank you.
To find out what's going on with your partner, or just like.
Well, it is really cool too, because again, I can relate it to the work that we've done with each other so much. Brian and I are nearly exactly 12 years apart. So we shift very much at the same time. So when I was going through my 2.5 years of legacy, home, I'm in that Capricorn, he was it Scorpio? It was something else that he was in where he was more out there, movement, freedom.
Sagittarius.
Yeah. He was all over the place. And we felt disconnected in parts for a while. Not that it was bad, but it just wasn't the same.
Right. Yeah.
But when we met, everything had lined up in a way of like this deep, unbelievable soulmate connection. That's why I kept saying it's the easiest thing I ever did. I don't understand. On paper, it should be so complicated.
Yes.
But it's not. And so it was so unbelievably easy. And then we shifted at the same time into completely different places. And it got really hard for a couple years. And now, interestingly enough, we've shifted again, but we feel in a better place than we've been in a very long time. I don't know where he is right now, but it's so interesting. As you say, it could be responsible for so many separations and divorces. There were absolutely times in the last 2.5 years, not just my luteal phase, where I'm like, I'm packing a fucking bag and I'm out. You know what I mean? I talk about my luteal phase all the time.
These 2 days are killing me. I'm out.
She's brutal. But no, genuinely. But I'm so glad we didn't fall into a space of not working on it and walking away from it. Also, kids and all the things make it very hard to walk away from. And then it's shifted again. So it makes so much sense. And it's not information that everyone has to know, like, your brain doesn't go, I'm going to check our charts and see where our progressed moon is. But now I will. Yeah. Because it helps make sense of so many energetic things. Oh, he's in this place and I'm in this place.
Right.
And when you know that, you can then nurture it and be more understanding of it and not, I guess, in a sense, gaslight yourself into like, it's not fucking working.
This might be a really dumb question, but like, how long do you stay in that situation where you're like, you're living with somebody who wants to go and, I'm just saying for people that are not working, is there a point where you're like, oh, well, this isn't working for me anymore? Or like, I don't like the person that you're becoming, or...
So that's the beauty of astrology, because here's the thing. Astrology does have a lot of fatedness to it because it is what it is. So like the energy that we're seeing in charts, it's happening. It's real. However, you have free will.
Mm-hmm. So you can stay in something even if...
You have free will as to how you're going to respond. I mean, it needs to make sense for both individuals, right? So for example, going back to what she was talking about earlier, that I believe Brian was in a Scorpio progressed moon, is what it was.
Oh, was
when
it
you
Scorpio?
First met, when you first
when
met.
we first met.
And Scorpio's deep. They want to go, in it, emotionally be in it. And intimacy it's about going, it's all or nothing. You're all in. Sagittarius is the Peter Pan of the I'm sorry, but it is. It's Peter Pan, meaning I just want to go be myself and do my own thing and blah, 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 right? So if she had been in a space at that time, and this applies for anyone who has like a mismatched time frame, let's say, or season, a season that doesn't match astrologically with your partner, that is a moment like, okay, is this hurting me, right? Is this individual thing that my partner needs to do? Because remember, it's not personal, it's our soul. The progressed moon is what our soul is craving to experience and evolve into. There's purpose in that. And there's maturity to gain from that, even though that process may not look mature to us because of choices and decisions they're making. But there's purpose in that. And so the soul is experiencing that at the moment for a reason, right? Because it's our part of our evolutionary process. So you, the other person in that relationship, experiencing your own astrology, your own transits, your own progressed moon, you get to have your free will and decide, okay, do I just do my own thing and live with my energy and my astrology? Although I will say there are some things that there are certain things where we don't have free will in, and those are usually eclipses. Like eclipses do sometimes bring endings, finalities, or beginnings as well. There are certain parts that, as much as I'd love to only think of the positive and tell you, yes, we have free will and everything, we don't. There are actually points where we don't have free will, like death and, those type of things. When we are going to be born, those type of things, right?
One of my big fears, because when Dad came over and visited me, he came over here and he died here. One of my big fears is that it's going to happen to her. Like I had my first panic attack when she moved over. I'd never had a panic attack before. And she was driving from Malibu to where her house is on this canyon, which has accidents. And I know that reception drops out. that I couldn't get hold of her, and I didn't know that her phone had actually died. And because I couldn't get hold of her for like 25 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, I was like trying to ground myself. Like I was alone in the kitchen. Brian was asleep and I was in a full-blown panic attack that she died. And I often have those things, not often. I have them a handful of times now. I had a mini one as I was melting down last night about my mum getting sick and me losing her. And I think it's also she is my only family member here. Like I have my big family, but it's all kids and Brian's family. And I have you
likewise.
here, yes, but like my blood family, you get it.
Yeah, likewise.
It's just my mum.
Your moon is in Cancer. Cancer represents the mother, or the nurturing parent. So for you, the thing, remember we're talking about needs, what you deeply need to be nurtured and nourished. You deeply need your mother.
Yes.
There are some people who don't need their mothers, really, truly. Like there are people that love their mothers, but it can do, like, and you see it astrologically.
Yeah.
And so, but for you, you deeply need your mother. Also, the aspects you have in your chart, because I've seen your chart, are positive when it comes to your mother. So you view your mother in a positive way.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you don't have conflict. It just means that you view her in a way that's like you really regard that relationship.
Yeah.
Where maybe other Cancer moons have a very difficult relationship with their mother, and it's sort of like, this doesn't really, it's okay.
Right.
But also with you, because you are so intuitive, you could just be picking up a fear or an anxiety that someone else has. So like you could have been picking up your mom having anxiety on the canyon. Like you could have been picking up her nervousness because you are so intuitive and connected to her per your moon sign.
Not fun though.
It's not fun at all.
It's not a good time.
Not a good time. Not a party.
It's not a party. No. I don't recommend it. It's a 0 out of 10.
Yeah.
I think we should get, like, there's so much that we could get into, like getting into sun signs. And do you want to know what a rising sign, what your rising means?
Yes.
Because you're a Cancer sun.
Cancer, and then moon is in Libra. We just figured out.
So you have your moon in Libra. You have your rising sign is Scorpio. And
fire.
Sharna, you have your rising sign in Taurus. And it's funny because we talked about this in your reading, right? And how you probably, because the ascendant is how other people view us.
This was so interesting.
Oh, so your rising, your ascendant, right?
Your
is how people view us.
rising sign.
Listen, I want to know about you because then I'll tell you about me. It's crazy.
I was like, okay.
So the reason the rising sign is so important is because it is the sign that was rising on the eastern horizon at the moment of your birth. So literally it's the sign that's greeting you. Oh, welcome to this realm, and whatever planet rules that sign becomes your ruling planet. So for you, you have two. You have a modern, for Peta, she has a modern ruler and a traditional ruler. So you have Mars, the planet of war, and also Pluto, the planet of the esoteric, the dark, the deep, all of that. And Sharna, you have Taurus rising.
Yeah.
So Venus is your planet.
And give me all the luxury and the shiny things.
Yeah, all the things. Beauty, aesthetics, all that.
All of it.
Exactly. Yes, that's exactly what it is. But what's interesting, and I asked Peta when we first started our reading, I said, I bet you people have said to you, oh, at first when I met you, I was intimidated by you. And because initially you may not feel like you're intimidating.
No, I think
and you're not. You're like the sweetest person
warm
ever.
And cuddly and kind.
I bet you people will say to you, wow, when I first met you, I was so intimidated by you, or I felt like I couldn't approach you or what have you. And now but you're not that way. And sure enough, I don't remember verbatim what I said to you, but it was something along those lines.
Yeah, I've had that quite a few times. And I hadn't thought about this until you said that. That's way long gone in my memory back there. But there's been, a handful of people that have been like, oh, you just look like you didn't want to be approached or, something like that. And
you have resting bitch face.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
RBF.
Yeah.
But no, I don't.
But when we got on the Zoom, the first thing you said to me was,
yes, I bet this is
I feel a little intimidated or something. You said, what was
I said,
it was
do you feel that other people, that's their first impression of you? Before that you even talk to them. This is before you even open your mouth and say hello. just by looking at you.
She's also like ridiculously stunning. And I think, and the way
I
you
love
hold
you.
your hair,
I love you.
gorgeous.
Gorgeous.
Like, stupid beautiful.
Gorgeous.
And I think so many people are like,
yes.
Whoa. You know what I mean?
But she's beautiful in an intense scorpionic way.
That's so crazy.
You're beautiful in a soft Venusian way.
What's that word you use?
Venusian, Venus.
Venusian.
I love that.
Yeah.
So Venusian is because like Venus is, it's very feminine, and so it's soft, right? So at first glance, that's what people see. For you, it's this gorgeous. This is like
striking.
Because remember, you're ruled by both Mars and Pluto. Mars is fire. Like, I'll kick your ass if you come near me, kind of thing. And so. Like if people, again, this is people who have not even heard you speak. This is before you even say anything. It's like the first impression, right? So it has nothing to do with the truth. It has to do with what people see.
What they perceive you,
What they perceive upon seeing you, because that's what this shows. Now, again, I'm simplifying a lot of these placements. It's so much more nuanced than this, right? So there's so many layers to the rising. This is just more of the obvious one to talk about.
Yeah.
But for you, yes, say it. Tell me.
No, you just brought, this is what I was meant to say to you on our Zoom, but now it came to mind. I had a reading one time from a psychic. This is a couple years ago. And it was something about how people think of me. And I said, I have a ton of friends. Like, I'm the kind one, that I'm nice, I'm generous, like, all this stuff. And she's like, well, some people, when they meet you, they, feel a different way. I was like, excuse me?
Bitch, what?
I didn't know
Bitch, what? I was like, you know how giving I am?
You didn't bring this up in the reading.
I didn't, but
you remembered later.
I remember being really offended. I was like, what do you mean?
Right.
I would do anything for my people.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? It was I was like taken aback for a second. Right. And then you brought this up and I was like, okay, so this is maybe just how they see me when they first see me before I speak and open my mouth.
Exactly.
So I was like,
and then once they get to know you, they see your Venus, which is Virgo, and then the sun comes out and your moon comes out, right? So it's sort of like, initially, when someone sees us, they see what they see. But then we open our mouth. That's Mercury. What sign is Mercury in? They'll get to see our hearts. What sign is your moon in? Right?
Because I'm not trying to give off those.
Of course,
like if you're walking down the street, like don't come up to me,
right.
Don't ask me a question. Never.
It's never personal. But I'll tell you, the people who align with your sign. So like Cancers, Cancerian energies, like all the water signs, anybody who has like I have a Scorpio moon. Okay. So for me, I see you and I'm not intimidated by you. For me, it's like, oh, I'm drawn into you.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Because this energy is familiar to me. I get it. It's the people who are not familiar with that energy, who don't recognize it in themselves, that are intimidated by it because it's a strength that they don't recognize.
Yeah.
Right? One of my really good friends, Coco, the first time I met her, she's from Japan and she was on So You Think You Can Dance. And we met at a friend's house and it was like an instant, I wouldn't say best friends immediately, but it was like we just got each other.
Yeah.
And then I was like bridesmaid at her wedding a couple of years later. Like it was very strange. And we're just like, we loved each other from the moment we met each other. And she's somebody that I've never lost contact with or anything like that, but it's a very strong, like we didn't know what it was, but we thought, oh, maybe it's just because we're both Cancer. So maybe
because we recognize ourselves, because it's a template, right? We have our blueprint, our astrological blueprint. In other words, energy. We have an energy, right? Which is our astrology is energy. And so we recognize it in other people, but also in the synastry, in relationship synastry, there's something that you and this friend have, which brings me to, I want to talk about both of you, something special you have in your chart.
I would love to do that. Let's do it.
But going back to this friend, if we were to put both of your charts on top of one another, which is called synastry, we would see the why you're so drawn to one another, and there are probably conjunctions between two planets, meaning two of your planets kiss each other.
Okay.
Or they are aspecting each other in such a way that brings you together, which is something that you have with Sharna. And I'm so curious. I know that you did a pod in the past. I've not watched it. I saw the title of how you met. I've not watched that yet. And I want to so badly after seeing this in your chart.
Okay.
Because you have this powerful, fated, like I need to know how you met, because I'll explain. So let's see who has what. Okay. Sharna, your part of fortune conjuncts or kisses, I should say, Peta's vertex. These are not planets. Okay. These are very specific points, very different points. The vertex is a point that we all have. It's not a mathematical point. It's a very specific point. It's an invisible point that tells us a lot about fated connections. So anytime our vertex has a transit coming in from a particular planet, something is about to happen in terms of who we meet. Like there's a fated event that's about to happen, or if we meet anyone that day, there's something significant to it, right? And the part of fortune is a place that shows us where we have luck, fortune, joy, the ability to, the potential and opportunity for them. So when we have someone's vertex, so Peta, your vertex, and her part of fortune, when they kiss, it's very rare because the vertex moves so fast. It's like playing roulette, which is it's my favorite thing to do in Vegas. So, but like it is like our charts is like a roulette. If you think about it, it's like you're gonna get what you're gonna get, right? But the vertex moves so fast. So anytime it actually conjuncts something else on another person's chart, it's gonna matter.
Wow.
Whatever that connection is. So for both of you, you have joy, luck, fortune meeting fated relationship. Both of you are meant to bring each other luck in some sort of way. Like whatever you do and touch together is for the betterment of something.
Okay.
And I actually wrote some notes down here. It actually brings a lot of luck in the material realm, that conjunction.
We're talking money?
We're talking dollars?
Anything material. And spiritual.
Give that.
But here's the thing, it's and spiritual. And another thing that this points to, which I find really fascinating, is the part of fortune is a traditional technique. It's a thing that traditional astrology has used for thousands of years, right? But the vertex, it's a newer, more modern technique used in modern astrology. So symbolically, the fact that you have a traditional versus a modern coming together, symbolically, that already tells me a lot about your relating. Like one of you is more traditional than the other, right? Like there's like, in terms of viewpoint, in terms of how we see the world, meaning there's a difference. There's a yin-yang energy between the two. As much as you are similar, you're actually very different.
Yeah.
And like how your perspectives and how you view things. But I'm going to read a couple of things here that I wrote.
Would you say
traditional in what?
Yeah.
In
that could be, it depends. It depends on, it can be family values. It can mean how you do your marriages. It can mean how you raise your children. It can mean just how you dress. It can be anything. One could be a little bit more traditional, and also because you have this opposition.
Flip flops and changes, or one is
yes, it flip flops. Yes, it flip flops. Like you feed each you're kind of doing this, right?
I see
it
that.
Be topics too. It could be dance styles too. It can be like anything that's just. But you see each other, and the reason I see you see each other is because you have this interesting Capricorn Cancer thing happening, which is very opposites. So you have this interesting thing where you are witnessing each other at any given moment. So like Sharna, you can see Peta's pain and Peta can see your pain. And you can be very good at helping each other through the healing process of whatever pain you're going through.
I see that.
True.
That's very true.
But it's something that's constant that you can transmute and grow from. And that can turn into either a spiritual wealth or material wealth. So
Can
it's
it be both?
Yeah.
yes, it can be both. It absolutely can be both. Yes.
That's interesting. I would say
Yeah.
also, like, we've known each other for a very, very long time.
Right.
That part of it, of the seeing each other's pain and also being there and the healing and that much more in the last, how long would you say?
5 years.
5 years? Yeah. 6 years maybe?
Yeah.
We've always been there for each other. It's always a ride or die thing for sure.
Right.
But there are definitely periods, and probably progressed moon related, where we've had more of each other in each other's lives. I don't want to say more connection and not, because we've always felt connected. But I think these last 5-6 years, it's gotten really deep.
Yeah. And I think,
or if not more, Shy's 9.
Shy's 9. Yeah.
So maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
But how long have you known each other now?
A long time. That's why I think our friendship has progressed and grown into this.
Yes.
We didn't start like this.
No.
We didn't
Not
know each
necessarily
other
like
that
you were-
well. It was
we were babies, 18 and 19 for the very first time. And then we didn't see each other for a couple of years, and we were on tour together for a long time on a show and had incredible times with each other. And we were definitely friends and have amazing memories and laughs and things. But true deep
Besties.
friendship and besties happened when we were both like living here in LA and going through life and being there for each other.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, I mean, I always loved her. We always had a good time and a laugh, but not so much like you and Cokes, where it was like instantly you're my bestie.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Our friendship grew over time.
Right. And we're also in different parts of Australia and
the world.
It was just never like a constant that she was in my life all the time.
Yeah.
But now you are.
Now
So it evolved
Get
over
rid
time.
of me now.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what's fascinating about this conjunction is whether you knew it or not. The moment that you met, that was like an instant ignition or activation of like purpose together.
Interesting.
So and you had to go your separate ways to come back together, which a lot of soulmate relationships are like this, right? Where we have to, and you see it in astrology all the time. We see it where people break up, break off, and then they come back together.
Oh.
And we had a quick conversation about that too, right?
Big time.
Yeah. And so that's because you met, boom, it was activated, this conjunction. Like if we were to look at you and Mac's chart, I'm sure we're going to find a million like conjunctions that we're going to be like, you were always meant to meet. It's almost like the universe wanted you to meet at 19, whatever age you were. It's like, okay, we're going to leave it there now. Let's go live life. Let's go do things so we can come back and now have more to share together to do the work we're meant to do together, because both of you have a signature of healing, not just healing, helping each other heal, but helping others heal. And it could be very much what you're doing here, because you also have a Chiron signature. And so when you have Chiron and you have the vertex and you have the part of fortune, these are all conjunctions that not everyone gets to have in an easy flow kind of way. Sometimes it's in a tension way. And you do have some tension. I'm not saying you don't. You do. But it's not negative tension. It's almost like the tension that you experience is more about you almost facilitate or create space, whether you know it or not, for both of you to take action in things that maybe in a way that maybe you wouldn't take action before when you're working on something together. So it's almost like witnessing each other. And I wrote down a specific thing that would make more sense. Okay. It's tension that serves as a motivator, a sense of being witnessed, and therefore being held accountable to take action when necessary, as well as being receptive when necessary. Because it's an energy of helping each other be receptive when you need to be receptive and helping each other to be the opposite. But that only makes sense when you're creating projects together. Like, which is probably part of this podcast too. Like, if you think about how it came to be, how you started working, it's like,
No, but it's funny because, it was just me in the beginning.
It was just Pete.
It was, this was, my side gig as well. And then as soon as I brought Sharna on for one of the episodes, I was like,
this was
that
fun.
felt really good. And everybody said the same thing. They were like, oh my God, you guys have great chemistry. Like, you're obviously besties, and everything kind of flowed and it just felt natural.
Yes.
And honestly, it stuck in my head for the longest time after that. And I continued doing my podcast. But still for the longest time, I was like, hang on a second, there's something here. And I remember we mentioned it to each other basically at the same time on the phone. And I was just like, why don't we kind of try to combine this somehow and like see how it goes? And then, and it just naturally fell into place like this.
And when we were talking about it, it's so funny because we had both had the idea of doing something with each other. But Pete didn't ask in the beginning because I was doing a different podcast with Brian and Randy. And I didn't ask her because I was like, oh, well, she's got this one going on now, or she's got so much going on. So we both had these ideas. Maybe that's part of the like witnessing and waiting for someone to show up in a sense. Like, it's not that I was waiting for you to show up. I just had this assumption that you had so much going on. But then we both sort of came to the table at the same time of like, this could be really great. And in our own spaces, we'd been playing with the idea of doing it and made up all our own reasons why maybe not. And then it still came together in the end.
And part of that is because when you are doing this work together, you're healing something. Because there's something about it that feels joyful. It feels good. You are seeing each other. And that's what I mean by the witnessing part. But it's also like holding each other accountable. And I think it's more internal than when we think of holding someone accountable, we think externals, right? But this is almost like you're showing up. You're healing some aspect, whether it's within yourselves or your audience. And that's part of the purpose in your co-creating and you're coming together, and why you even came together to begin with is because at some point the universe knew that you were going to come together to do some work that created healing, not just for yourselves, but for other people. And it's huge here. Like it's Chiron. There's a trine to Chiron. I believe it's your moons on both sides. And so that is healing. And Chiron is the wounded healer. So basically what it is like talking about, because they're both in Gemini for both of you. Gemini is about talking, communication, which is what you're doing here. If you wrote a book together, that would be amazing if it had to do with healing women and things like that.
Let's write that down. Okay. Just gonna write a book together.
Put a little, jot that in the notes.
Yeah. It would be fantastic. But the thing about it is that you may not even realize that the way you communicate with one another and the way you share your hearts with one another, how that's healing someone who's watching and listening.
You know, we've had that. We've had people write in a lot of times and said, I love your conversation with Sharna. Like you bring not just joy and laughter to my day, but like you made me feel normal about this situation, about a mum fail or something else. Like, oh my God, we're all going through the same thing. And I love that. I love getting those messages and that makes me feel really good.
Yeah. Sometimes we share them on like our group chains and we could never imagine that that's the way us just having our hangs and our talks was going to help someone with something. But I think it is the helping people feel seen and like, we're all just the same. We're all women having a female experience and we all go through so much of the same stuff. And I love that it connects with people that way. But it obviously has to do with the fact that, yes, our friendship and the way that we are, but the energy that is aligned around us that creates that healing energy with it. Is that what
exactly what
it is?
So what's happening is with that, whether you know it or not, you're actually healing something about within yourselves, like this connection, right? Can you talk about that?
I can, because when we all know Wendy now. She came over to the house and did a house cleansing and she did, is it Reiki?
Yes.
She does a little bit of that too. Yeah. She did that on Max and I upstairs separately and I've never done it before. But one of her biggest things was, how often do you get out to see your girlfriends? And the big thing was like, I really want you to reconnect with women in your life and women that you love and, you know, just love spending time with. And I had already been thinking this, like I have my friends, but I'm so entrenched with husband, kids, family, getting work, business, everything that sometimes I'm like, wait, I've never been on a girls' trip ever, and I'm turning 40.
I'm down if you want to do it.
Let's do it.
I'm down.
Yeah, let's do it. And when was the last time like I went out with my girlfriends and had, I don't know, a sleepover or like anything, or went to lunch with Sharna just to like catch up? And she's like, you need to reconnect, you know, especially with Sharna.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
did she say she brought up my
I just got chills.
And
I mean,
Wow.
Wendy's amazing. I just got chills.
Yeah.
Because...
And I remember thinking, and I think I even cried a little bit because I was like, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling like I'm disconnected from other people than my immediate family members,
right?
You know, and to now be sitting here now doing this with you and just like we're getting those girl chats, whether we like it or not.
Yeah.
You know,
whether we got others, we have
now,
scheduled time to turn up.
Fires are happening in the world. We're still here.
Still showing up.
But so it's awesome.
It has been the best because even for me, like over years of life and kids and all that entails, right? I have felt incredibly disconnected from my people.
Yeah.
And then, you know, we joke about it like, this is my whole identity now. I'm just a mom at home and I do some of this and some of that. And I was missing out on my people and you're my people.
Yeah.
And at some point early last year, we started connecting more and more. And you started like checking in on me a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I was at the same time just going through some stuff. And I remember coming over and sitting in your car for like 3 hours.
Yeah, that was a long car chat.
That was a long car chat. And and I was like letting it all out, all the ugly parts as we talk about.
Yeah.
And I think from there, we've just reconnected even more and more and more. But the fact that we get to turn up every week and have this space with each other, it genuinely does heal something in me because I have my Peta in my life,
got
my
a
girl
Sharna
time.
fix.
Yeah, a Peta fix. And it's also that unfiltered chat where you just let it all out and say all the things, whether these guys get all of it or not, the bits before the conversation that we can never air because it's not for public consumption.
Yes.
The really ugly parts.
I want to see those.
Parts too. But I get to be like real and raw and vulnerable in ways that I don't get to when I step outside of this space with you because I get time with you.
Absolutely. And just having like another sounding board besides taking everything to my husband to chat about in the kitchen at nighttime. Do you know what I mean? Like sometimes that, and we've spoken about that between us too, like that can get exhausting. Like that's too much for me to put everything on each other all the time. Like we need another person to go to and you're my person.
Yeah.
You know, like literally you're my person. If I'm like overwhelming Max with something or he's just too much for me in the moment and whatever is going on, I know I can bring it to you and chat with you and let it out to you.
Yeah.
It could be about the kids or like, I don't know, anything. But like that helps too to have another person, not just your significant other, to bombard with your issues.
Yes.
You know?
But you do recognize that not everyone gets to have this connection. This is so unique and this is so special.
Wow.
And that's the thing. It's like, and that's both of you literally described this astrological energy, which is, it's the combination. It's not just your part of fortune and not just your vertex. It's the Chiron trines that you have to your moons, both of you. You literally, especially when you talked about the ugly parts, that's what Chiron is. It's like you get to expose to one another the things that hurt, the wound, right? And in that comfortability and that safety that you have built with one another, and it's taken time, right? It didn't just happen overnight. Like this is roots.
Yeah, for sure,
absolutely. And then with time, it becomes even safer, right? Like, but you just described what this energy is. And in that healing of each other, being able to say the things that we wouldn't maybe be either embarrassed or ashamed or too afraid to share with other people, we're healing something internally. And as people are listening to this, it's healing something within them because both of you come from a very glamorous world, right?
Yeah.
So when you think of Dancing with the Stars, it's glamour. It feels untouchable, right? To people watching it. It feels like, oh my God, there's these gorgeous, beautiful women with this amazing ability to dance and be glamorous. What can they possibly hurt from, right? And then you realize, no, I'm a person too. I'm a human being who has emotions and feelings, and I go through these things. And I also need a friend. I also need someone that I can trust. And so Chiron and these beautiful conjunctions, which we're not going to get into the technical, there's a lot in there, but you basically described what that is. But the beautiful part in that is while you're doing this internally for yourselves, it's healing other people that you might never even hear from, that you have no idea, hearts that you are touching.
Wow.
And whether it's this
Love
podcast,
that.
whether it's something else, it's the same energy. So it's not,
I love you.
Aw. This is so sweet. I know. I love the foot. The foot's been wanting your attention, by the way.
I know.
Have you noticed
trying to
this entire time? I've been watching that foot. That foot's been needing your attention.
Footsies, I don't play footsies with people.
No.
Except for my husband. I don't touch other people's feet, but I'll touch your feet.
But she's against your moon.
Oh my God.
I love it. It's good.
That's really cool.
Good to like analyze and know these things that we feel are true and like not, I don't know, just in our minds or fabricated
exactly.
or
It's like a confirmation of things that we know, because we can also tell ourselves, nah, you're just making it up.
Yeah.
But then when you hear this information, you're like, oh wow, that's exactly what I've been feeling. That's exactly how it feels, or that's what happened. You can go, that's a confirmation that I'm feeling it the right way. Like what I'm feeling is real.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And you know that this is something that I'm constantly saying in almost every reading. This comes up. I am not telling you something new in your reading.
Yeah.
I'm literally just confirming and clarifying something you already know to be true. And that's even if people are coming to me for astrocartography readings, if they're thinking to relocate, like when we looked at your locations and that incident that happened or that issue that was happening there. It's like, I'm just confirming and clarifying so that you know you're not crazy.
Yeah.
It comes from somewhere. There's a reason you're feeling what you're feeling. There's a reason that you energetically you are aligned with your own astrology. You honestly don't need an astrologer. You don't need a tarot reader. You don't need, but it's good to have that support. And to have our team and to have the people to confirm and clarify, it's coming up. This is why you're not going crazy.
It's nice because, like, should I go this direction with work? Should I take that job? Like, what should I be really striving for? Like, I don't want to put my energy into something that I'm really not meant to be doing.
Right.
Usually we know what we're meant to be doing, but do you know what I mean?
Yes.
If it's like over that part of the life, or we don't know which route to take with what job offers and stuff like that. Like, I don't want to take a job offer that isn't really for me and isn't going to aligned and benefit me. Do you know what I mean?
Yes,
like,
because everything has a season, and like even astrologically with timing. So even though you know you're supposed to do XYZ, you may just not know when. Right. So it helps to have the clarification of, you are en route to do XYZ.
Yeah.
However, now's not the time. Maybe wait 2 months because according to your chart, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. You know,
I told these guys, remember how I said I was like, I can't start the podcast until after December 11th. So I told them when we were talking, I'd spoken to Elena, and we were talking about things that are good for me, things that are this, things that are coming up, what's aligned with me. And I had mentioned to her, I was really excited because I was going to do this podcast with my best friend. Like, what are you picking up around it? She's like, I love all of this, especially the creating with women thing. Which is very aligned for me. But she was like, do not do it until after December 11. And I was like, what do you mean? And she's like, because everything around communication, contracts, setup, it just will not set it up in the right way. And it could then set it up to fail, essentially, because podcast is communication. It's the way people are going to hear us.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, and so I just told these guys, I was like, sorry, guys, I'm busy till after December.
I was like, what the fuck? That's a whole month.
It's a very specific date. Like, what do you mean? Let's get going. I was like, no, simply can't. But I wasn't in a space to be like, so my astrologer told me that we can't do this.
I would have been like,
I love it.
What the fuck, Sharna?
At the time, she's like, Sharna, get your ass in the studio. We're recording.
But then it makes sense, right? Like then it makes sense when you cross that timing. You're like, oh, this is what feels different.
2 questions. I have 2 questions to wrap this up.
Okay.
What's ahead for our charts and our friendship?
And the podcast.
And the podcast.
Oh, okay. Well, first and foremost, I think that the one thing that I'm going to say to both of you, because you are in an Aries progressed moon, you're in Aquarius progressed moon, and this will also affect the future of the podcast, is don't be afraid. Which I know you're not already because you're already in that energy. So it's neither here nor there. But it is important that whatever you do moving forward starts with you first, your needs. So in other words, what interesting topic do you want to talk about as an independent person versus what does my audience want? And that's actually usually, that's the opposite of what somebody may, like a marketing person might say to you.
Absolutely.
No, focus on what your audience wants. But for you, what's going to make it more successful during this next 2-year time frame is that you actually talk about topics that are interesting to you as individuals. If you start from that perspective, it will be successful.
Okay.
Because you will be coming from that energy and you'll be able to serve it more appropriately.
Okay.
And it'll be more authentic versus, the audience wants to hear this, and there's a lot of success and individuality for both of you. And it's no less groupthink and more individual thinking. And whatever you do from that lens will be successful for the next 2 years.
Okay.
For both of you for different reasons. You because you're in an Aries energy and you because you're in the Aquarius energy.
Got you.
Of course, there's so much more nuance to this. But in terms of your connection together, you have that forever. Like those conjunctions are there forever. I think I don't think that you have scratched the surface yet of where the two of you can cause healing on a greater scale. And I think you're going to see that with time. I think you're going to see that as the pod, as it reaches a larger audience. And you're going to start to probably hear people say more how you're healing them, how you're helping them. And just know this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning.
I love
so
that.
So you do think that this is going to be a successful podcast?
Absolutely.
And getting a bigger audience?
I think that if you stay true, I think that if you follow your progressed moon, and in 2 years, we'll revisit and see where that's going.
Cool.
But I think right now it's about the combining of hearts, being open, completely yourselves. Who you are, what you're doing right now is exactly what we need in the world. But I would say, don't be afraid to lean into heart even more. Because remember, you have that Chiron energy. It's talking about the things that really hurt, because that'll be healing. And so not being afraid to really dive into that together, because I'm speaking of your partnership together, right? And like what you have in your charts together. I do think that if you wanted to write something together of like your experiences of dancing with the, or you choose whatever.
Oh, honey, we can't sell that story. We'd have to make that fiction.
But like your personal, really? Well, let's
change all the names.
Let's create something fiction then. Really anything that you do together that's communication-wise, that has to do with writing, speaking.
I would love to take this on tour.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, there you go.
I would love to do a podcast tour. Yeah.
I would love that.
Be so
going across
great.
the country and being like with people live and in person and finding a way to do it.
Yeah.
That's definitely one of the big like goals and dreams. We could even turn it into like a retreat at some point. You know what I mean? And take people away with us to a thing and have fun. Bring you along.
I want to come.
You know what I mean?
I want to go. We can
of
check out our
course.
astrocartography lines wherever we go.
All of that. That's such a big thing, by the way,
so much
astrocartography
fun.
that we just don't have time for.
Yeah.
Elena, where does someone if someone was like me and is like, I don't know, I'm a Gemini, where do they start and what do they pay? What's the most important thing to pay attention to? Your moon, your sun, or your rising?
Well, I think first and foremost, it's important, like if you're a newbie to astrology, just get a basic reading, a basic natal chart reading, because that'll show you what your rising sign is, what your moon sign is, what your Venus, what you need, your needs, what you're attracted to, what's attracted to you, your purpose, all of that. North Node placements, which is all about destiny, also the work we're here to do, that type of thing. So get it just a basic astrology reading. You can go to astro.com. It's a freebie, like it's a free website where you can just pull up your chart. But you need to know your details, like your birth time, your place of birth, all of that. And of course, you can always book a reading with me. I'd be excited to have anyone.
So this is what I was going to say is like, I've done those charts and I read them and I go cross-eyed after a while because it's all words and I can read the words, but it reads like I'm reading a fiction book because I need someone to explain it to me.
To decode it.
Decode it. And it wasn't until I had my session with you where we went into so much, I was like, it sticks now. Now it makes sense. Now I understand. Now it's been explained to me and taught to me. I understand myself so much more. Whereas I've I've bought those readings before and they were fun to read, but they didn't stick to me. Right. The north and south nodes, like we've talked about.
We talked about that for you.
Like karmic debt and everything that I've like been working through in this life. It's so amazing what you can find out in just these reads. I highly recommend. I mean, I recommend you because you're such a gift in my life.
Thank
You're so incredible.
I appreciate you.
And I think
so
there
much.
are so many people out there that say they can do these things. And not everyone really can, and I think you can tell.
Yeah.
I know that you are 100% just incrable and organic, and you do have your own intuition, authentic. Yeah. You have your own gifts and intuition when it comes to this too, in the way that you read the charts. And so please tell anyone and everyone where they can find you to have a reading from you.
Oh my gosh, thank you both. Yes, well, you can find me at my website, ElenaValdez.com.
Everybody go get a reading.
10 out of 10 recommend.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
You
I'm
also
so grateful to both
mom and parent and child.
Yes,
which I haven't done yet.
Yes.
It's endless, the things.
The parent and child reading is so important, I think, for especially new parents that want to just understand, what
I
does my child need?
I want to do my boys for
we got to do that.
Because they are all so different.
Yeah.
Wildly different.
Especially because they're different. You want to know.
Yes.
Yeah.
I at some point want to do my bonus babies because I was told by a psychic when I was 18 I'd have many children and they wouldn't all be mine. So I'm like so curious to know if there is anything that's like faded in there or past life or what that is. Anyway, and I also want to do Zane. I want to do all of it.
Yeah.
Elena,
thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much for having me, really.
Thank you.
Very grateful.
You're the best.
You're the best.
Thank you. Appreciate both of you. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.